all you cool cats and fine felines. It's Leah and
Lynn.
And today we're in Chicago at the Medieval Torture Museum, so follow us. Lynn, what are we going to do?
Get into the groove.
Meow meow.
The torturous groove. Delicious.
Love the ambiance.
Ooh, the gridiron. Imagine being laid out on that and being cooked alive. Look at these nice little play toys they had up here.
Pretty sure that's like a little pincher. That's a little pincher.
I'm pretty sure that's a little
Little
sticker.
poker. Look at his face. He's
So
upset.
they would cook you on one side, and then they would flip you over and cook you on that side, and wow. Look,
She's impaled.
like Vlad the Impaler.
Wow. That's a bad time.
That guy that was a serial killer, he said whenever he meets a girl, he wonders what it'd be like to be with her, and another part of him wonders what it's like, what her head would look like on a stick.
I think that was Ed Kemper.
Yeah. Look, I guess they left it out to intimidate people.
Well, it would.
Ooh, can you imagine? This is it. That was it.
Yeah, my hand won't even fit around it. Oh, I wonder how long it would take you to die.
Too long.
Yeah. Look at the nice little illustrations. It looks like a little merry-go-round, but a demented merry-go-round.
Look at these forceps.
What do they use those for?
They were used to inflict suffering on accused witches. That is the knee crusher.
This is the knee crusher.
That's the knee crusher. Oh.
They tighten it down. Oh, God. That's horrific. Is that an Iron Maiden?
Ooh, you can get in it.
It's an Iron Maiden.
I can stand up in it. They got a place for your head.
Wow. Oh, you can see through the mouth. All right. Okay, this guy. He's got the clamp on his neck and the clamps around his ankles. Looks like a little bit of infection has set in.
The prayer cross.
It's called the what?
The prayer cross.
Wow.
Ooh, they have a witch's scale.
I'm sorry to tell you, but you're a witch.
Am I a witch?
You're almost a goblin.
You're a witch.
I'm a
almost
witch.
a goblin. You were right on.
That's how you
now
were
you're on
too.
a witch. Now you're on a witch.
I knew it.
She's
Knew
a
it.
witch. The cradle of Judah is a torture rack.
Strung up. It's kind of like being drawn and quartered, I guess. Oh, his back's on a spike.
Yep, it keeps you from falling asleep.
Oh my God.
It was considered humane.
This was humane.
The cradle of Judah was considered humane and was primarily used to prevent the victim from falling asleep.
It looks like a bouncer.
Imagine that's the last face you ever see. come in and lay your head over this.
And smack. Oh.
He got his tongue ripped out of his
Is that
the
considered a
Colombian necktie.
Where they cut your tongue out and pull it out your throat.
They slit your throat so bad they go in there and pull your tongue out.
I imagine that's what your eyes would look like too. What is this lovely thing called?
I think it's a holding cell. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be in it. You can't, I mean...
Well, you're in it, honey.
You can't, like...
This idea, it was conceived in America, by an American dentist named Albert Southwick in 1890. The first murderer was executed by electric chair, in 1890. During the 20th century, the electric chair was used in 26 states. In recent decades, it's been replaced by other forms of execution, like lethal injection. Now wiggle.
Ooh, look at these toys.
It's the violin of gossipers.
Oh, and they are heavy.
So you start gossiping, you end up like that in these
In
wooden
medieval
cuffs.
rat torture. No way. That is horrific.
Okay, so how this works is they set the cage on top and they put the little rats in there.
And then they, on top of it, they put hot coals so that the rat tries to get away. Well, it has nowhere to go, so it starts eating through your flesh to get away from the hot coals.
It's one of the worst forms of torture I could think of.
Uh-oh. You guys aren't going to throw apples and rotten fruit at me, are you?
No, I'm tall enough.
Poor little meow. Look at her. Yeah, she's a poor little meow. It's a good thing we don't have any fruits to throw.
I'm a poor little meow.
Now you're a poor little meow. That's horrific.
Imagine just being in there and you're locked in there and you can't reach. Like
No, that's where they put all that. They feed you all that honey and all that milk.
Oh, they set you out in the little barrel.
Yeah.
And then the bugs come and then
Yeah.
just eat you and there's nothing you can do about it.
Look at all those chassis belts. Oh, those are different chassis belts.
Can you imagine having to... Oh, Lynn, here's one for you. Yeah, you wouldn't be doing much of anything if you had one.
Look at this.
Which one
think
should
you-
I wear?
This one, you would look really cool wearing that one, but it'd be terrible.
I think the one with the hearts. I think that's the one for me. Oh, Lynn.
Oh my.
Another executioner friend.
Yep.
Oh, dude, look. They hang you upside down and saw.
It depends. They said it depended on the severity of your crime, whether you were sawed in half from the bottom to the top.
I'm not sure. I think I'd rather go from the top to the bottom.
Yep.
This little guy's been in there for a while. Look, I think there's a little tear in his eye.
What is this, like scapism or something they call
That's
it?
what it's called, the barrel. But I think you're right. It is called scapism.
In the Saw movie,
Or the pit in the pendulum.
the pendulum. goes back and forth and back and forth, and it gets lower and lower until it chops you in half. Torture by snakes.
No.
Look, they would. Look at that.
Look at that little guy. He's just ready to get you.
Oh, he's real.
The snakes. Oh, there is a. Oh.
The snake torture, the snake
Can
pit.
you imagine being in there with? Oh, I mean, look. That'd be terrible.
Your rotting corpse out there to be a deterrent, not to commit the crime that this poor fellow committed.
Look at all the little implements of torture.
What is this, a big boiling cauldron?
Yeah, full of skulls. As it should be.
Oh, look at this guy.
He's getting his tongue yanked out.
They were cutting it off. In the Old Testament, it was a form of punishment. It is most often applied to con artists.
Pulling the tongue. Look, he's even standing on a skull.
I saw that. How intimidating.
He looks relaxed. He's done this before.
Just another day on the job.
I guess that would go around the neck, I'm assuming.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that would crush your head.
They slowly tighten it.
Then that's what would happen here. Look, you sat down on this. There's a spike behind you. You put your head in that and they tighten it until that is driven through the back of your neck. Okay, so they want to torture you, so they put your fingers in this to crush them.
They start out with the fingers.
Then they go to the
plump little hand.
and then they go to the wrist.
The fleshy arm.
And then the head is next. Wow. It's a good thing they put that sign there. That is a very tempting place to sit down.
Yeah.
Those are like spikes. They are
They're sharp.
sticking up
They're sharp.
and down.
Joan of
You're
Arc.
alive and conscious while they gather the wood and put those little bundles of wood around you.
Strap you down and have a whole crowd around you cheering and gawking at you as you burn alive.
Hopefully you would die of smoke inhalation before the flames got you. The Brazen Bull.
No. The guy that created this was actually put in the bull.
He was so proud of it.
They tested it on him, but they would put you inside and close it up and light a fire.
And it was said that the screams that came out of its nose made the bull sound. But as the rumor said, is they put the guy that invented it in there, but they didn't let him die. They got him out of there and threw him off a cliff.
Yeah, I guess they felt bad. They pulled him out and threw him off the cliff. This is just your, typical dinner show.
Yeah.
Dinner and show.
The king would sit around with tables full of food and
And
watch
feast
this.
and
Well, that's
hear
how
the bull.
Caligula was.
Whips.
Oh, that's to a whip. It's
Yeah, look at her back.
it's to whip you. He's breaking ribs.
It is ribs.
Oh, look at that sticking. The fork of the hair. Imagine having that on there so you can't do anything but hold your head straight up for days or weeks or however long you get.
Until you finally just get so tired that probably penetrate your jugular.
There's a wheel they tie you to.
Mm-hmm. Can you crank it?
No. Yeah, and they beat you with this mallet.
Oh. Like if that isn't enough, they have that huge mallet to swing at you.
Oh my. So they put you on that and tied ropes to your feet. And they turn this, pulling you over.
Oh, you tightens the ropes.
And these have spikes on them.
Here's the illustration.
You would roll over the spikes. Horrific. The Spanish donkey.
Yes.
They would put you on there and
tie weights to your feet.
Put weights on your feet to pull you down.
And that's pointed. And eventually you're going to have to relax. And it's probably not going to be good for you.
Okay.
Sounds like a blood angel.
It's
Is it a blood angel?
The blood eagle. The blood eagle.
Yeah. They cut you open and pull your lungs out your back.
It was supposedly a Viking thing, I thought.
Oh yeah, the bloody eagle.
And look at this. He got his tongue nailed to a stake. What do you have to say to that, sir? Here's this rack.
What is it called? The torture with water.
Oh, it's with that waterboarding.
No. This is breaking on the wheel. This is the one.
Yes.
The wheel was popular in ancient times. In ancient times, in the Middle Ages, as a form of death penalty. The wheel was used in ancient Rome during the Middle Ages. It was widespread throughout Europe, in Germany, and France, and considered one of the most painful and shameful executions.
Just imagine you were tied to that and you know you're not ever going to get untied from it. Bris.
What's happened to this person? Scaffolding of the heels.
Severely burning the heels and the feet by boiling water and oil is practiced in the medieval world. It forced a person to confess to various crimes.
I imagine you confess to just about anything to make that stop.
This says scalding of the heels is still practiced to this day. In recent years, several cases of torture were recorded in China involving scalding a person's feet with boiling oil.
Wow. Oh, look, these are the little breast scrapers and pinchers.
Oh.
It's called Spanish tickling, or the cat's paw.
The torturing table.
Mm-hmm.
You can film that. During the Inquisition, tables and clamps and clasps for the limbs and various body restraints were used to immobilize the victim, to subject them to terrible torments. Look at his mask.
And look at his eyes. Wow, so they tie you down and take the little cat's paw and claw you to death.
This is...
I love the illustrations.
Mm-hmm. This is more of like what we were thinking, like this is the gallows. The hanging gallows.
Oh, okay, so they tie the rope around your neck, and they stand you on the gallows,
Then they're holding by this lever here.
And then
The
when they
pull of-
release the lever,
The pull of this lever determines this man's fate.
and now he's wiggling and hanging. And it'll either break your neck or you'll just choke.
And you'll probably defecate yourself.
It usually happens before death. As a mortician, I can attest to that.
Ooh, they chop their hands off. Different ways of
Tickling the paw.
This is a man that got his hands recently chopped off.
I would think that it would be easy to get out of handcuffs if you had no hands.
Yeah, true.
Aha.
Oh, the cord.
Is this drawn and quartered?
No, this is it's like the rack, the lifting bar. The
What
victim's
do they do to you?
the victim's hands would be fastened with a rope behind his back. They were then lifted by this rope. Sometimes additional weight would be tied to their feet. Throughout the 13th and 18th centuries, the cord was used in European prisons. During the Spanish Inquisition, it was also called strapado.
So what would they do?
So they would just put your one of your body parts in that and just like put your arms or something in it.
So it would
Like, yeah, they would put your arms in and
Pull your arm
where
out
it
of
would pull,
socket.
yeah, or your
Gotcha.
leg or yeah.
basically you just lay on this and they beat you to death. What's it called? The bench crucifix. I can see why.
Little meat hooks here.
It's like Candyman. Only you need a bloody stump. Oh, look.
Oh, the guillotine.
Look, it's Alice Cooper. Can you pull it up? This is considered a lot more humane. Smack.
Slop. You always wonder if you got your head chopped off that way, if the head was looking back at the body like this, if you could see your body and know that your head was no longer attached.
I think you'd see it for a little bit.
This is where they torture the women. They put her in the water, the barrel of water. That'd be terrible.
Good job.
Look
That
at
looks
that mask.
evil.
Wow. Can you imagine if that was hanging in the
Or if
Or the man was wearing
executioner
that.
was coming toward you wearing it.
So yeah, this is just for the bad of the worst. This is the worst possible thing they could ever do to any person. They get them all laxatived up with honey and milk and sugar, and they put it out. It was said that they would even put them on like poisonous ant hills in Cambodia, and spiders and scorpions, and I just can't imagine. That'd be so terrible.
Okay, hanging. After you be tortured and punished, they put pieces of you on display to discourage other people from committing crimes.
They filleted them. They just took all their skin off. Oh, it's the leather face. Someone's face
And
has
torso.
a mask. The other torso is a mask. This poor soul that got all of his skin taken off of his body.
It looks like Hellraiser.
Even his feet.
So this concludes our tour of the Medieval Torture Museum in Chicago, Illinois. So, Lynn, what do you think people should do?
I think all of our viewers should hit that subscribe button and help us keep going to these different places like this to show you guys.
That's right.
It's free to you.
That's right. And until then,
Stay groovy.